Hey, Michelle. How's it going?
Darren, it's been a while. It's rare for you to contact me.
True. We've never really been that close, huh? But today, I've got some news for you.
What is it?
I'm getting married.
Oh, congratulations.
I already told Mom and Dad, but I guess you haven't heard yet.
No, this is the first time I've heard about it. So, who's the lucky girl?
Her name is Annabelle. She's an elite like me. Graduated from a prestigious university and works at a top-tier company.
Nice.
Quite different from you and your husband, huh? You're a high school dropout, and Calvin only finished high school, right?
Don't judge people solely by their education. We're doing fine, and he's a good guy.
Hilarious. I guess birds of a feather flock together.
I didn't choose to drop out, you know.
What's that supposed to mean? Still holding a grudge about the past?
Not really, but you should stop looking down on people because of their education.
Well, regardless, it doesn't change the fact that you're a dropout, and I'm an elite with a prestigious degree. Even our choice of partners shows the difference.
Yeah. Enjoy your life with your elite wife.
Oh, by the way, about after the wedding,
After the wedding,
I'm moving back there.
you're coming back home? What about your job?
There's a branch over there, so I put in a transfer request.
I see. I thought you'd be working in LA for good.
Living here just doesn't suit me.
Really? Is working in a big city that tough?
Yeah, the job is exciting and the pay isn't bad, but the cultural differences and human relationships are. I just can't keep up with that pace. Everything moves so fast, both work and personal life. It's stressful for me.
I get it, but you must be making good money, right?
The pay is good, but the cost of living is high. Rent is expensive, and battling the traffic every day is exhausting.
True. I've heard it's usually a gridlock getting in and out of the city.
Exactly. Back home, I can live a more relaxed life. And there's a position that offers promotion opportunities. I'd be happy making decent money and having a decent career.
So, you're looking for a place here?
No, I've already decided on a place.
Oh, that's quick.
I'm moving back to the family home. So it's time for you guys to move out, don't you think?
What? Moving back here?
I've heard from Mom and Dad. You agreed to live with them, but it hasn't been easy, and there have been a lot of fights.
Mom told you that?
So from now on, we'll be living with them. You guys need to move out. The house isn't big enough for 6 people. When can you move out?
Wait a minute. You can't just spring this on us. We have a lot to sort out. And is Annabelle okay with living together?
Of course she is. That's why we're making these plans.
I see.
Also, she's pregnant.
Pregnant? But you're not even married yet.
Why is that so shocking? We've already decided to get married, so it's fine. Honestly, I'm really glad she got pregnant so soon. Dad and Mom have been wanting to see their grandchild, and now I can finally make them happy.
Oh yeah? They haven't talked much about grandkids with us since we don't have kids.
They probably held back out of respect. They didn't want to pressure you into having kids. But now that they know she's pregnant, they want to spend time with their grandchild. So it makes sense for us to live together.
This is really sudden for us.
Use this opportunity to move out. Annabelle is estranged from her parents and has no other family. You guys don't have kids, so you're free to move, right?
You know, moving isn't that simple, right?
Oh, I know. You're financially struggling so much that you have to live with mom and dad, huh? It must be tough not making much money being a dropout. Calvin doesn't have a degree either. Low-educated couples can only earn so much, huh?
Every time we speak, you feel the need to bring up our education, don't you? It doesn't matter, you know. We're living fine on our own income.
But you're still living with mom and dad.
We have our reasons.
I don't know what they are, and I don't care. What matters is that we're moving back, and Annabelle's having a baby. That's fine, so don't get in the way.
Are you really planning to live here from now on?
Of course. Think about it. Objectively, it's obvious that they prefer me. I graduated from a prestigious university and got a job at a major company. They'd definitely rather live with me and their grandchild. They want that too. They'd choose us over you guys any day, so just accept it.
Just to be clear, when are you planning to move back?
We're coming next month. The transfer is at the beginning of the month.
Next month?
Originally, we planned to rent a new place since we both have well-paying jobs. But the place we wanted won't be available for another 4 months. So we'll stay with mom and dad until then. Once it's available, we'll move to the new place along with them.
You've already planned that far ahead?
Unlike you, I'm a planner. So I've told you about our conditions and plans. It's up to you now. We'll be there next month. Even if you're a dropout, you should be able to move in 2 or 3 weeks, right?
That's impossible in such a short time. Calvin and I are in the middle of a busy period at work. We don't have time to prepare for a move or find a new place. Darren, are you listening? Darren!
Hey, Michelle. We're moving our stuff into the house tomorrow, so be ready.
What? Tomorrow?
Yeah, I told you in advance, didn't I? You guys should already be out of the house by now.
No, we're still here.
No way. I told you to move out.
I never agreed to that, and it's impossible to move in just a month.
Well, we've already arranged for the mover.
Even so, we're not prepared, and there's no place for you to sleep if you come.
That's simple. We'll take the room you're using and you can sleep in the living room.
Yeah, right. We live here.
From now on, we're the main residents of that house, so it's only natural you make way for us.
Anyway, it's really sudden and inconvenient.
It's your fault for dragging your feet.
We're busy with work and can't just move out right away.
Busy? Is that the excuse of a dropout and a high school graduate? Us elites don't make excuses like that. You make time for important things. Got it? From now on, you're just freeloaders. So get the room ready for us to move in.
You're really pushing it.
Dad and Mom are looking forward to us moving in. Starting tomorrow, that house is ours. Be grateful we're letting you use the living room.
You sound so arrogant.
If you don't like sleeping in the living room, then just move out.
I've told you, we can't move out on such short notice.
You keep saying it's impossible. Typical low education, low intelligence.
It has nothing to do with education.
Anyway, get the room ready by tomorrow.
All right.
I'm really looking forward to living there again.
Are you free right now? Annabelle, of course I'm not. I'm working. Work? Isn't it just simple tasks anyone could do? You and Darren are really two of a kind. So, what do you need? I have a list of things I want you to buy on your way home. I'll send you a photo of the list. Thanks in advance. There are stores closer to your workplace, you know. I'm working overtime today, and I have some morning sickness, so please do it. Unlike me, you're low educated, so your work isn't that important. You always leave on time, right? I'm so jealous of your simple, low responsibility job. Both Darren and I are so busy after our transfer to this branch. We're in high demand, you know. I have things I need to get home early for. I won't be able to get the items on the second half of your list. Aren't these baby clothes? They're not urgent, so it'd be better if you guys went shopping together on your day off. We're busy, okay? Our days off are for rest. Why should we go out on our days off? I run around doing errands on my days off. Since the family size has increased, I have to buy more groceries and supplies. Consumables run out so quickly. That's just something you decided to do. We're exhausted from work and can't think about housework. But someone has to do it. That doesn't mean you can dump it on us. We're focused on advancing our careers, so housework can take a back seat. Maybe you're busy on your days off because you're inefficient. If you were on top of it, you'd be fine. But I guess with your low education, you can't figure that out. You know what? Why don't you try doing the housework instead? I can't. I have work. So do I, full time. Don't compare your job to mine. One day of my work is probably like 3 days of yours. And since you're not doing anything significant outside the house, you should at least try harder at home. I'm doing more than enough. Yeah, right. You're cutting corners, aren't you? Excuse me? The laundry was piled up this morning. There were strands of hair in the hallway, and I found dust. And about breakfast this morning, it wasn't enough for hardworking people like me and Darren. The laundry piled up because Darren brought out the clothes he had been storing in his room this morning. And I plan to clean the hallway when I get back home. If you notice these things, why don't you take care of them? We're all living together, so it's unfair to expect me to do all the housework. I'm pregnant and working outside too, you know. Darren is super busy too, so it's only natural for you to handle it. If I'm gone, who will do the housework then? With the baby coming, there will be even more to do. Why do you think I agreed to live with your parents? You really are a high school dropout, aren't you? Isn't it obvious? We're both working hard and will continue to do so. So of course, we'll rely on your mom for the housework. It's called mutual conditions. Mutual conditions? Too complicated a term for a high school dropout. We provide financial support by working hard. And she handles the housework. That way, it's a win-win. So you moved in to have mom do the housework from now on? And childcare too. I want to go back to work right after giving birth, so I can't waste time finding daycare. But with her, we don't need to worry about daycare. She'll take care of the baby. Darren and I hold important positions at work, so we need to return quickly to avoid causing problems. But putting all that on her? Plus, I'm sure she's excited about the grandchild. If she watches the child, we can focus on our jobs without worry. She did say she's looking forward to it, but taking care of a baby is still hard work. Don't worry, she's experienced. But what if her health declines? Relying entirely on her is risky. Isn't that where you come in? Me? You don't have kids, so you've got plenty of time, right? I have a job too, you know. I don't have that much time. But you're just a dropout. Missing some work won't be a big deal for you. If she can't take care of the baby, we'll ask you. My highest education is middle school, but I haven't lived a life to be looked down on for it. Everyone likes to think that, don't they? Anyway, I'm still busy with work, so let's leave it at that. I guess you can get as much shopping done as possible. I'm not your maid or a convenience service. Come on! I should use whatever resources I have, right? By resources, do you mean me? Who else would I mean? So thanks in advance for the shopping. By the way, I have morning sickness. I'm not sure what I can eat. So prepare a few different options for dinner. Thanks! How's everything over there? I never expected you to suddenly go overseas. Well, we both managed to get 10 days off at the same time. So we decided to take a vacation abroad for a change of pace. How nice! With your education level, I bet you can't speak the language. And we'll just visit the typical tourist spots on a typical boring trip. Oh, I have some news to share. Thanks for your concern. We're having a great time. What's the news? You're coming back tomorrow, right? Well, the apartment we wanted became vacant, so we moved. Moved? Yes, that's right. We're about to celebrate with some takeout for our housewarming. I thought I should let you know first that we moved with your parents, just us. So you already moved. What about us? Don't you think it's time you guys became independent? You've been a burden on your parents after all. Your mom even said she prefers us over you two. So the old house is empty now. We're planning to sell it. So when you return, you won't have a place to come back to. We threw away all your stuff since it was in the way. Oh, great. Thank you. What? Thank me? Why are you thanking me? Disposing of all that stuff must have cost you money. Yeah, but both Darren and I have good jobs, so it was no big deal. I'm glad to hear that. You save us the trouble and cost of disposing of our junk. Junk? Wait a minute. It looked like junk to us. But wasn't it valuable to you? No, it was junk for sure. You were right to throw it out. We only left behind things we were planning to discard anyway. What do you mean? We've already moved. What? From the moment we knew you were coming, we slowly moved our belongings to our new place, bought what we needed for a new house, and completed the move in the first 3 days of our vacation. Now, we're enjoying the remaining. Why did you do that? Why? You were the ones who told us to move out first. Well, that's true, but... We only left behind things we planned to dispose of after returning, so don't worry about it. And as for selling the house, it won't happen. Don't worry about that either. Won't happen? You mentioned it, so I figured you didn't know. Didn't know what? That house was sold 6 years ago. We've been living there and paying rent. Sold 6 years ago? And paying rent? Why go through such trouble? Selling the house and then paying rent sounds ridiculous. We had no choice. Mom and Dad needed to sell it to pay off debts. Debts! We found out about it 3 years ago too. I can't believe this! Explain everything, please. Both of them had debts. Dad lost money on horse racing, and Mom on investments. So 6 years ago, they sold the house to a relative and have been living there on a generous discounted rent. They were paying off the remaining debts with Dad still working. But they never stopped gambling and investing, so the debts grew. They couldn't even pay the rent anymore. That's when they asked me if we could live together. This is unbelievable! So the house already belongs to someone else? And they still have debts? Yes, which is why we've been living together all this time. When we moved in, the agreement was that we'd pay rent and utilities, while they'd cover living expenses and do the housework. But gradually, that arrangement fell apart, and we ended up doing all the housework. They always had some excuse for why we had to do the grocery shopping. Eventually, they even started asking us for money. Why did you keep living with them? Every time we tried to move out, they'd guilt trip us, saying things like, "Are you abandoning your parents?" Or, "Have you forgotten what we did for you?" Just when we were feeling stuck, you guys offered to move in with them. Thank you so much for taking over. This can't be happening! I assumed they would have told you everything. Apparently not. This feels like a betrayal. How could they keep something so important a secret? So let me ask you, did you ask them to take over all the housework and childcare when you decided to move in? Well, we were planning to ask for their help gradually after the baby was born. Same goes for you then. Where did you guys move to? I'm not telling. I'm cutting ties with my parents and Darren. Cutting ties? I've been looked down on for being a dropout for too long. And I don't want to be taken advantage of anymore. I just want to live quietly with Calvin. That's an exaggeration! Just so you know, I gave up going to high school for Darren's sake. What do you mean? When he was still in elementary school, he got very sick. The treatment was very expensive. My parents did everything they could to come up with the money, but it still wasn't enough. They had to prioritize his treatment costs, so they couldn't afford my school fees. I understood the situation and decided to give up on further education. Are you serious? I did want to continue my education, but I had to do what was best for my family. Getting Darren better was the most important thing. I had no idea you had made such a big sacrifice for him. Well, it was for my little brother, so I accepted it. My parents were desperate, and I wanted to help them. I see. But as Darren got better, he became more and more spoiled. Taking advantage of our parents' favoritism, he would take my things, and even spend the money I saved in my piggy bank without any remorse. When I told our parents, they just doted on him and didn't discipline him. They even sent him to a good college. I had to give up my education for him, so it was really frustrating. But now, I've gotten a GED. I plan to go to college once things settle down with work. So being able to finally cut ties is a huge relief for me. Wait a minute! Darren uses other people's money without permission? Does that mean he might use my money too? We've never lived together before. We only started living together after getting married. I never noticed before, but maybe... It's quite possible. No way! Are you serious? We're both high-earning elites. We make good money. He should be using his own money. It's not about the money. His habit of using other people's things and money is like an addiction. If you two are earning well, you can probably support my parents too. Thank you. I never heard anything about them having debts. They've left all the housework to us for the past 3 years. It's far from the ideal you imagined. But good luck as a family. I'm rooting for you. I can't do both work and housework like you. Oh, so you do realize how difficult it is. Please, Michelle. We'll give up on living together. We thought we could get someone to do all the housework and childcare for free. But we'll just hire a housekeeper and a babysitter. So please, take your parents back. You and Darren wanted this. Take responsibility until the end. Now, I want to enjoy the last of my vacation. Don't bother me again. Wait, Michelle. At least, tell me your new address. No way. I have no intention of having any more contact with you. Good luck being elite together. Darren and Annabelle used to look down on Calvin and me, calling us uneducated and at the bottom of the social ladder. In truth, Calvin runs his own company. We kept this a secret from them to avoid being taken advantage of. I may be a high school dropout, but I've worked hard and earned a management position. As a result, we earn far more than them. Thanks to our income, we were able to support my parents and save money. After moving out of their house, we bought a spacious new home. Interestingly, I've heard from the relative who now owns the old family home that Darren and Annabelle are doing all the housework and childcare themselves. They're also covering all expenses while supporting my parents. Given my parents' debts, their life must be quite tough. They're reportedly regretting their choice.